Ever tracked a VOR with one of these and thought, wait, which way am I supposed to turn here? Yeah, you're not alone. And that's what makes this instrument such a big upgrade. An HSI shows heading, course, and glide slope all in one place. But it's not completely foolproof, and the FAA has plenty of tricky test questions about it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how HSIs work and how to use them the right way. Hi, I'm Greg from Pilot Institute, the online ground school that makes aviation easy. So first, if it's been a little while since you reviewed navigating with VORs, check out this video right here on how to use them before we move on. But if you're feeling good about the basics, well, let's get started. And first, what is an HSI? It stands for Horizontal Situational Indicator. Now, instead of having to scan two different instruments, the heading indicator and the course deviation indicator, you only really need to look at one. Now, the best way to understand how an HSI works is by seeing it in action. And to do this, I'm going to be using our VOR Simulator app. It's free, and it actually works on both desktop and mobile devices. Check out the link in the description to download it and then follow along. Our little Pilot Institute airplane here is flying on a heading of 360. Now, let's go ahead and turn right to a heading of 090. The compass card here rotates just like any heading indicator. But here's what makes the HSI so useful. The course deviation needle also rotates, so the instrument always stays aligned with the direction of flight. And as you'll see, that's the real power of the HSI. Alright, let's track towards a VOR. Right now, we're tuned to the Drake VOR, Delta Romeo Kilo, just northwest of Prescott. Now, we need to set a course that's going to take us to the VOR. I'm going to do something here that you can do in a real airplane. I'm going to hover in place, okay? The to from indicator on this G1000 style HSI is the small arrow right here. The big arrow is the course pointer, and you can rotate the course arrow with the course select knob. It works just like it does on the OBS knob on the CDI. So all we need to do is turn the knob until the needle centers with a to indication. How do we know it's to and not from? Well, the small arrow is pointing in the same direction as the course pointer. Now watch what happens when I rotate the course 180 degrees. You can see that the course pointer and the to and from arrow are now facing opposite direction. If we flew that course, we'd be flying from the VOR on that specific radial. Okay, let me set the course back to the station. What makes the HSI so easy to use here is that it gives you a top-down view. Now it's clear, even at a glance, that a right turn will be the quickest way to intercept that course. And as we make the right turn, you can see that the airplane overshot the radial. The CDI has deflected fully to the right. So how do we get back on course? Well, I'm going to pause it here. We need to fly a heading that will take us back towards the radial. With a top-down view, it's easy to estimate a good intercept angle here. A right turn of about 40 degrees will be perfect. Now let's flip to the conventional CDI. Definitely not as easy to figure out where the airplane is, or how even to rejoin the radial. Alright, let's get back to flying again. The needle is starting to move towards the center, and just before it gets there, we'll turn left in order to intercept the radial. Now let's say that we want to track outbound from the Drake VOR on the 270 radial. As we overfly the station, the CDI doesn't behave any differently than the conventional CDI. In the cone of confusion, where the signal gets unreliable, the needle deflects to the side. Once the to from arrow flips, that means that we've passed the VOR. Now we can start our turn to 270. But let's say that instead of selecting the outbound course of 270, I accidentally set it to 090, the reciprocal. And maybe the wind has pushed us a little bit to the right of the radial. Is the wrong course setting going to mess us up? Well, not in the HSI. Even with the wrong course set, the needle still makes sense. A slight left turn and we can intercept the radial. Now let's flip over to the standard CDI. It's showing a deflection to the right. Now what's going on here? Well, unlike the HSI, the CDI doesn't know what heading the airplane is flying. With a 090 degree dialed in and the to flag, the CDI expects us to fly to the VOR. And if we were heading on the 090, the right deflection would be correct. And here's the problem with the conventional CDI. If you don't realize that you've set the reciprocal course, you end up with what we call reverse sensing. Now, in other words, flying towards the needle actually takes you further away off course. And that can be really confusing. The HSI avoids this problem by always keeping the compass card aligned with the heading. But check this out. If we could flip the HSI so that the 090 is at the top, then it would show reverse sensing, just like the conventional CDI. Now, obviously, a real HSI is not going to do this. But that doesn't mean that you should be sloppy with your course selection. During an instrument approach, when you're already pretty task-saturated, setting the wrong course can get you into real trouble. And that's exactly why the FAA loves testing pilots on this specific topic. So let's take a look at how to fly an ILS using an HSI. For this example, we're going to be shooting the ILS or the localizer on runway 5 at New Bedford Regional in Massachusetts. And right now, we're inbound to intercept the localizer. And I've already set the course to 054. That's the front course for this specific approach. Now remember, when I said that you should not be sloppy with setting your course, here's why. With a VOR, you can select any of its 360-degree radials, but a localizer only tells you whether you're left or right of a single fixed course. Now, changing the course setting doesn't really affect the signal. It just rotates the CDI display, and that's it. So if you accidentally set the reciprocal, the needle is going to deflect the wrong way. Some glass cockpit systems set the course automatically, but it's still up to you to make sure that it is correct. Alright, so we're just about to reach the localizer. Watch the CDI needle here start to center as we intercept. And from here is just small correction towards the needle in order to stay on track. Now let's talk about the glide slope. In the G1000, vertical guidance is not shown on the HSI itself. Instead, it's going to be that little diamond here next to the attitude tape. And right now, we're below the glide path, so the diamond is deflected to the top. And as we get closer to glide slope intercept, watch it start to move down towards center. And when we hit the middle, that's our cue to start descending. From there, small pitch and power changes is going to keep it centered. If the diamond rises above the center, we're getting too low, and if it drops below, we're too high. Easy enough. But now let's go ahead and take a look at an approach that doesn't quite play by the same rules. Back course approaches are a way to use one localizer system for both runway directions without installing a second transmitter. And there aren't too many of them that are still in use, but you'll definitely see some questions about them on the knowledge test. But what makes them confusing is that the back course doesn't work quite like the front course. Alright, let's get back to the sim and see why that is. We're still at New Bedford here, but this time we're flying the localizer back course on runway 23. It uses the same localizer frequency as the runway 5 approach. But now we're coming in the opposite direction. Now normally you want to set your course to match the direction of flight, but not on the back course. If you set it to the runway heading, in this case 234, then the needle is going to move in the wrong direction. Why? Because the localizer signal still references the front course. It doesn't know which side of the transmitter you're on. So it's like flying the front course with the reciprocal set, which is something that we saw can cause backward deflection. In order to fix that, we need to set the front course, 054, even though we are landing on runway 23. Now, left is going to mean left, and then right is going to mean right, just like it should. So even though an HSI here is going to help avoid confusion in a lot of different situations, it's just not magic. It still depends on you, the pilot, to set it up correctly. Alright, time for a pop quiz. Look at this localizer diagram right here. The arrow with the shading on the right side and the marker beacon is the front course. So the localizer is aligned with runway 27. The back course arrow is shaded to the left. Now take a look at the HSI presentation B. The heading is 090, the course is set to 090, and the needle is deflected to the right. So where's the airplane in relationship to the runway? Here's the key. The localizer is aligned with runway 27, but the course is set on 090, the reciprocal. So we know that we're dealing here with reverse deflection, reverse sensing. That means that the airplane is actually on the same side as the needle, south of the localizer course. Now let's look back at the diagram. Go ahead and pause here if you want to figure it out on your own. The only position that fits the heading and the deflection are 5 and 13. So in this case, those are the correct answers. And yes, HSI questions just like this one are going to show up on the written test. But the hardest questions really are not going to be about back courses, they're going to be about VORs. And that's one of the reasons why we built this VOR simulator app, in order to help you picture exactly what is happening. You can pause it, you can test different scenarios, you can even use it on the go. There's a link down in the description if you want to download it. Thank you for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.